Hello, hello. Welcome back to Afternoon Drive here on a Tuesday in Newburyport. Hope you're all having a good start to the week. We got Caleb Noble helping us out here on the producer side. Hello there, Caleb. You can wave. He said, "What's up?" Actually said, "Living the dream," I think. Hope you're all having a good start to the week. I did. It's going by quickly so far. It's already Tuesday. Flying. That's optimistic, isn't it? But it's kind of nice out there. Kind of looks stormy all day, but it's kind of got that summertime feel again. Going to be 80 degrees tomorrow on Wednesday. 80 degrees, not too bad. Yeah, pretty cool. So I get the whole gang in again. We got Caleb Noble, Lily Dissette, Tyler Neufeld, all that good stuff. How about the well, a lot has changed since we last met on Thursday. We had well, the Red Sox are officially eliminated in the sports world. They're I mean, not officially, but like, pretty much officially. Things got bad. They fired their president and general manager and all that stuff. So that was a little bit different. Dave Dombrowski's out. Patriots started off their season and just smoked the Steelers the other night. Seems like everybody around here very excited about that. I was in and out of that game. I struggled to stay up to the late games, but I was watching most of it, and 33-3 the final. Good stuff there. Here's something we talk about on this show a lot with all the school personnel and students that we have on the show is the vaping deal. And, man, there's all sorts of warnings coming out right now about the dangers of vaping. Government panels saying you definitely should be stopping until we learn more. In New York City, the mayor there wants to completely ban vaping and e-cigs, and be careful with that, kids. I don't know. It's. I don't think we know exactly what's in some of that stuff, and I don't know. It's doing a lot of harm to a lot of lungs, and I don't know. Seems like everybody's doing it too, so that always worries me when everybody's doing something. Things start trending in the wrong direction. So that is that. What else we get going on in the world? Oh, Sudbury. You see how the Triple E thing's scary out there in Sudbury. They're spraying again today and tonight. For mosquitoes, kind of late in the year for this. They really need a first frost. That's what ends up killing all the mosquitoes. So that's how you get the Triple E threat gone. But a 5-year-old got Triple E in Sudbury. This is after the in West Warwick, Rhode Island, somebody actually died from Triple E. It's crazy. You don't usually think of that. I mean, West Nile, you're kind of always hearing about, and it's not great to have the mosquitoes, but I don't know. The Triple E is kind of next level dangerous, very scary. Hopefully that 5-year-old's going to be okay there in Sudbury, but yeah, watching that as well. One fun story today for all the, I don't know, not necessarily older folks, but I'm sure a lot of you, I don't know, I guess if you're, you got to be in your late 30s, I guess, to really, really remember it. But it was 25 years ago last night that the Green Day show at the Hatch Shell created all that chaos in Boston, right on Longstoro Drive there, the Hatch Shell, the Esplanade, where, they put the fireworks off on the 4th of July and all that stuff. And 25 years ago, Green Day held a free concert. This was like right as Green Day was kind of coming onto the scene. Yes, that Green Day that is still performing live and still doing great. But 25 years ago, they held that free concert, and the mosh pits and all that, and poor Mayor Tom Menino and all the Boston police, and they really they didn't know about Green Day, and they didn't know about Green Day's crowds, and things got out of control. And there's a great documentary on it online if you want to just YouTube it. Some of the radio stations that were involved in it. Was it FNX? I think it was. They did just a great documentary on the craziness of it and the stories behind the scenes. One of the organizers, one of the radio guys, was up there, and he said they had to tell the lead singer Billy Joe Armstrong to stop swearing, for one. Because it's a family event, and Green Day tends to have some language when they're on stage. And he said, go out there and tell them right now. And he looked at the guy and he said, but they're in the middle of a song. And he knew it would make them very angry if he went out and interrupted and said something negative. So he went out there and faked it and said, you guys sound great, keep going. But it didn't last long. It was a half-hour show before the mosh pits and the riots got out of control, and the police started clashing with the fans, and there was pushing and shoving, and then all of it spilled out into the streets onto Storrow Drive and eventually into the Back Bay. So for all your kids who hear Green Day now, I guess they're a little bit toned down now. They were a little bit more punk rocky back in the day. Now they're a little bit more radio pop friendly. Not completely. They haven't like sold out or anything, but they still are who they are. But go back and watch some of those videos. It's pretty funny. At one point, they say there's this like beautiful garden outside the hatch shell right in front, and if you go to it's like one of the staples of the hatch shell, and there were like 2 rules that Green Day had to follow. Forget what the first one was, but I remember the second one being, and don't ruin the garden. And the organizer, I remember him saying in this documentary, Green Day would not have even known about the garden if we didn't tell them about it. Next thing we know, they're down there playing in it, rocking in it, and people are ripping it up, and the garden was no more. So pretty funny. 25 years later, it's pretty funny. I don't think there were any real serious injuries, but I remember Mayor Menino. I remember hearing some of those cuts after the fact, and I heard some of them today as we looked back. Mayor Menino was not happy. He feels like it was a misstep probably on his end too, and the police not knowing exactly what they were getting into and maybe being misled by organizers. Who knows? It's interesting to me that they had like another free concert like that. Dispatch, much more low-key band. Not low-key, but not like a punk rock crazy crowd. There's not too much mosh pitting during Dispatch. And they did that show at the Hatch Shell. That was 15 years ago now. So 10 years after Green Day, they do a free concert again. And that one in its own right got kind of crazy because I don't think they realized how big of a crowd Dispatch was going to get. They were expecting like 30 to 40 people, and they ended up getting like 120,000 or something at the Hatch Shell. People hanging out of trees, hanging off telephone poles, and that got kind of dangerous too, although not quite like the mosh pitting, fighting with police dangerous. So interesting. Actually, a guy I work with was telling me today he was at that Green Day show, and he was a little bit older than like the kids that were moshing. He was past that particular age, and he remembers being so upset because he had to leave. They had to leave after a half hour. He was like, I just wanted to see a good show. It was free. It was going to be a good night. So that part was kind of disappointing, I guess. But anyway, fun little Green Day story there looking back. Don't forget, follow the show here at ncmhub.org. That's ncmhub.org. You can go get the podcast in the top right. You can click on the YouTube station and you get a look at, you can watch the videos and all that and see any show you missed here from the last few weeks. And we've had some good ones too over the last few weeks. So do that. My guest today is the field hockey coach at Newburyport, Jess Delacey, who's going to join us in just a few minutes. So why don't I get out of the way? We'll get to Jess here, get her set up, and get her on in just a moment. My name is Drew Moholland, and this is Afternoon Drive on Chopper Radio. All right, welcome back to Afternoon Drive on Chopper Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. Hope you're all having a good day out there. Lily Dissette producing today. She is now taking over for Caleb. Hello, Lily. Thanks for joining us. Jess Delacey's in the house, a return guest for us, the field hockey coach over at Newburyport. How are you, Jess?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Exciting time of year. Field hockey season off and running. Couple games in the books, I hear?
Yes. We just finished our second game of the season yesterday. We played Masco.
Masco, okay. Yeah. Masco's usually good. How'd that go?
Masco is a really talented team, so that was a tough game for us yesterday. We lost 3-0.
Yeah.
But our opening game against Triton was a really impressive show for our team. So I was really proud of that day for our team. We won 4-3.
What's the breakdown of kids this year? Mostly an upperclassmen group or a younger team, or?
It's a pretty good split this year. We have a couple freshmen on our team. We also have seniors, so
okay, that's good.
From every
you must
grade.
Like that, be a little balanced, right?
Yeah, it's been really nice to have just a few players from each grade on the team, because then it kind of just allows those younger players to learn from the older ones and hopefully kind of carry through for their few years on varsity.
How many years is this for you now? This is my
5th season.
Fifth season. You're becoming like a veteran coach in the league here.
Yeah,
that must be kind of weird, huh?
Yeah, it feels kind of weird, yeah.
That's
being
good.
a veteran coach.
You probably really have outlasted some of them, right? Because it seems like the high school turnover is like a lot quicker these days than it was when, we're about the same age when we were going to high school.
I feel like the coaches that have been there for like 30 years, and then it's the younger coaches that tend to have a faster turnaround, I feel like.
I guess so.
There's kind of an even spread of that. There's like probably 6 coaches in the league that have been there for, I would guess, probably like 20 years or
really?
So. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. Never mind. You're not a veteran.
I know. I'm not a veteran yet.
Who's the longest tenured? Do you know off the top of your head?
That's a good question. I think it might be Mamie Reardon from Linfield. But I could be wrong. Maybe Donna Anderson.
I keep forgetting Linfield's in the Cape Ann League. It's kind of they're like the not exactly, geography fit, but I guess that happens these days. How about the Kyle Hodson is still your athletic director, obviously. I'm talking with him all the time. Is he pleased with the field hockey program?
I think so far he's pretty pleased.
You hope so?
We have a really nice group of girls, very hardworking. Yeah. So can't really ask for much more than that, at least this early in the season. So he
always tells me that one thing that he has been thrilled about since he took over the Newburyport gig, which was I was probably right after. You were probably one of his first hires, right?
Yeah, we were hired right around the same time. So this is his 5th year.
He went right after you.
Yeah, I was actually hired a tiny bit before him. So
you were? Okay.
Technically.
So that was the Bob Clark regime, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, they kept you on anyway. But he always tells me that one of the things that he loves the most is like his group of coaches is like a really good group. Like it's like it seems like unless they're really faking it, they all really get along and work together.
Yeah.
And it's like that doesn't always happen.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. At least for the fall coaches that I get to know better than the other seasons, we all get along pretty well, and it's all a really nice group of coaches that have been, for the most part, coaching for a while, mostly longer than I have. So. And
you don't teach in the school either, right? If I remember.
I teach in the middle school.
Teach in the middle school. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. So you still it does make it easier when you're teaching, right? Because at least hours wise and all that.
Yeah, for like practice wise, like leaving right from school and going to practice is helpful. But it's also nice because a lot of the players that I coach, obviously, I've had as students or I'm just familiar with them because I've coach them in clinics at the middle school or summer league things and things like that. So I get to know them pretty early on, and I kind of try to force field hockey down their throat a little bit in 7th grade, and then
early
usually
recruiting.
Yes, a little bit of that.
There you go. All right, I have to ask you because this is like a story every single day in the news now, and we've talked about it. I had Dan Thornton on from Pentucket, the athletic director, who told me he looks out at the athletic fields these days and he swears that like more than half of the athletes are like vaping these days. He's like, he can't believe it. It's like staggering. He's like, I see people like breathing heavier. Like he pretty much called it an epidemic. And now you're seeing in the news every day, there's all these stories. It seems like everybody seems to be vaping, which is a whole different world for me. We never had vaping when I was in high school. Like you had the cigarette corner that was like 5 people, but that was about it. And, is this a serious issue?
Yeah. So I mean, it's been a big topic of discussion, definitely in schools, and I think at the middle school level, it's a little bit prevalent, and I think at the high school it's certainly
in middle school too.
Bigger. Yeah, at the high school it's bigger. Oh, but I hope that my players are making smart choices. I think most of them are, and I hope they are. And but it's definitely a problem. It's scary too because I just feel like we don't even really know what vaping can do. Like right now, all those scary stories of people in the hospital and stuff potentially from vaping is pretty scary. So
the government came out. A group of government doctors came out today and said that they suggest not doing it until at least we learn more. Because I don't think you exactly know what's in all that stuff. But yeah, it is crazy. So have you ran into any serious issues with that, or not particularly?
I have not with my athletes.
That's
so
lucky.
Yeah, I'm pretty thankful for that. They're a pretty good group, and I think in terms of making smart choices in season, at least, I think they tend to hang out with each other on the weekends and during the week, obviously. So I think it helps them kind of steer away from making tough decisions or being around things that they shouldn't be.
That can be tough. I mean, Dan, who I was just talking about, said people get suspended almost every day, and he says, I got a whole collection of vape pens just because of people getting caught with them. So I think people just take it for granted too. They don't think it's a big deal, and you can get into trouble for that.
Yeah, for sure.
The MIAA is pretty strict with that stuff too, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep, definitely. Any substance abuse of any kind is, gets you seated on the bench for quite a while, so it's not a great
and
plan.
Probably when you come back, not in the best coach's graces, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I would say it's not the best choice. And just, and besides that, it just lets your team down. I mean, if you're in trouble and you can't play, you're not helping your team out.
Yeah.
So.
All right. On a lighter note, is your sister still coaching with you? I think that was the deal last time.
Yeah, my sister coaches the JV team, so
okay.
Her name's cool. Victoria. Yeah, she
family
coaches.
Affair.
Yeah, it's a family field hockey.
There you go. And you both played?
We did both play, so we played in high school together, obviously at the same high school out in Central Mass, Shepherd Hill.
Okay.
And it sounds weird, but we also both went to Merrimack, and we both teach in Newburyport now, but we both played for Merrimack College.
So. Very close, obviously.
Yeah, super close.
Merrimack's a beautiful campus. My sister's actually living there now.
Oh, nice.
Because her boyfriend just is working there, and they get this sweet setup of housing and all that. And I couldn't believe how nice it is. I never driven in there.
Yeah, the campus is beautiful now. Every time I drive by it,
Yeah.
I'm like jealous of how much nicer it is than when I lived there.
Working on it. Like
there's been a lot of construction in the last at least the last 5 or 6 years, but now there's like beautiful facilities for the sports, multiple fields, turf fields, and everything. It makes me kind of jealous.
Is that football field new? It looks new.
There's one field that was there before that. I think the turf is new on it, but it's been there for a while, and then the bigger field that's closer to the ice hockey rink is newer.
Because that jumped out at me, the football field. I was like, man, that is a really nice setup for, what are they, D2 or?
They actually just moved to their D1, playing D1 this year.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, for all sports.
For all sports, geez.
Yeah, so they were D2, but for ice hockey they were D1 for a long time.
Yeah, well, that's right. We all knew the Hockey East there. It was that's what Bryant did where I went to. They did the same.
Yeah, they went up to D1.
And that was like
probably 10 years ago or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's because it was when I was there. It happened probably just over 10 years ago.
Yeah, because when I was at Merrimack, we played Bryant for a couple years, and then they changed over. So.
And then it's funny how that pattern goes. You start making that jump, and then the building begins. And
huge buildings.
Everything's expanding.
Yep.
But anyways, college talk for you. The actually, we have we have a whole new crew here now because we had a bunch of college kids that were interning here, and they've all gone off to school, or actually seniors in high school that are going into college. So we hope all of them are doing well. Lexi Foley and gang and Jess is going back too, so hello to all of them if they're listening, which probably they're not. They're studying in college.
Probably studying very hard right now.
Yeah, that's what you do at 3 o'clock at college. Do you use some of your college lessons to teach these kids? Like, do you see some college potential out there that maybe you can nurture? Or?
The team, you mean like, could they play in college? Yeah, for sure. I have I have a few girls that are definitely interested in playing in college, but I would say there's a large number of my players this year that have potential to play in college for sure, whether it's D3 level, D2. I do think I have a few that I see going D1.
It really is all like what you do with it from here, though, now, right?
Yeah. I mean, definitely playing in season, having a strong season is part of it, but a lot of it is also out of season and playing in, club teams and attending different camps and different showcases and things like that. So it's super important to be focused in season, but also out of season if you want to.
You remember doing all those?
Yeah, I was constantly doing field hockey.
Did you become a one sport or?
I played 3 sports throughout high school. I played actually growing up more so. I was more focused on basketball for a long time. So I played, basketball year round, played AAU and stuff. But then once I started playing field hockey, I went to a senior high school, so I got to play in 7th grade, which was awesome, which was kind of uncommon back then, so to speak, when I was in high school. But it was I loved it so much, and even though I started it later in life, I realized that I liked field hockey better than basketball, so I kind of started to pursue that more.
Gotcha. Did you have, are you kind of split on that then? Because I know there's that whole one sport athlete versus 3 sport debate that goes on.
I really find that the athletes that are most helpful and most talented and knowledgeable and all of that, on my team at least, they are typically 3 sport athletes.
Interesting. So. It seems like most coaches support the 3 sport now.
I do. I mean, I love hearing that a kid maybe went to a camp over the summer for field hockey or obviously played in summer league or plays in club. I love all that, but I also love if they play another sport. So it gives them some time to kind of take a break from one sport and use different muscles and different, coaching strategies, and I think the most well-rounded athletes have played more than one sport. Yeah,
I don't think any coach that's come in here has said I really prefer the one specialized.
Yeah, no.
That's it. And college coaches. I mean, I'm sure not all of them. There are plenty of coaches that will just say, we want you to be a football player, so nothing else. We don't want you to get hurt. I think at least at those upper college levels. But it seems like even the college coaches are recruiting people that maybe do play 3 sports. They almost put it as a negative if you're.
Yeah, I almost think the one sport athlete thing was maybe more 15, 20 years ago, kind of the focus, and now they're realizing maybe it's a
little outdated.
Yeah, maybe better to have more of a well-rounded approach to sports.
What was you did something I didn't, which was play a college sport. What was that recruiting process like? Is it tough choosing a school? Did you know right away that Merrimack was the one?
Well, I have a really weird story regarding college, but oh man, it might take a while, but I mean, for me, I was recruited heavily starting in probably my sophomore year. I did a lot of club team things. And for field hockey, one of the big things to try to go to when you play club is to go to nationals. It's basically a giant competition, and you play tons of club teams pretty much, and that's a big showcase for colleges. And so I played at that. A lot of scouts there. And so I was recruited by Stonehill, and that's where I planned to go my freshman year, and I did. I went to preseason there as a freshman, and I did great the first couple days. I worked my tail off all summer getting ready and doing all the workouts. And I the second day of tryouts, I woke up in the morning and I didn't really feel so well, and basically I didn't really know what to do. It was so long ago. It wasn't when you really had cell phones or computers to get in touch with your parents and explain to them what was going on. And so I just decided, I was I just got to put my head down and go to practice. And I was really sick. I had the flu pretty much. And so I tried to just push through practice. And it didn't go so well. So 2 days in, I was so sick. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't know what to do. And so basically the coach called me into a meeting and sat me down with the captains at the time of the Stonehill team, and when I was there, and told me that she was cutting me because I looked better on paper than on the field.
Oh, wow.
And so I just packed up my stuff and left.
I did not see that story going that way.
Sorry. It's so sad. And so then I was devastated, obviously. That's why I wanted to go to Stonehill for the campus and the school, obviously, but my real focus at that time was field hockey. So I just was I'm not going here. And so basically at the last minute, I was probably the last person accepted into Northeastern at that time. I went to Northeastern for a semester as a freshman.
Okay.
And my first semester, and then I didn't like it, and so I transferred to Merrimack, and so that's how I got there.
And then you started playing there.
Yeah, one of my best friends in high school was on the Merrimack team that fall, so I knew she liked it. I knew she liked her team, and I was I can play with her.
She put in the word for you?
And so, I ended up going there. So long story short, it was kind of a rough patch for me,
man,
the whole first couple
brutal
years.
By Stonehill.
Yeah.
Tell me who that coach was. No, don't do that.
She's not there anymore, luckily, because she was pretty tough. Actually, from people I know, they just said, maybe you lucked out in the end. But it was a tough kind of couple of years, because then I was, because I technically was a double transfer in the same year. I wasn't cleared by the clearinghouse to play, so I had to sit out for a while. So it was not the way I recommend going about stuff.
Not exactly a smooth ride.
The moral of the story is tell people if you don't feel well, I feel like.
Yeah, I guess. So she had no idea you didn't feel well even
Yeah,
at the end?
and at that point she was like, well, I told her, I was like, listen, I've been really sick. I ended up having a fever for days. I had the flu. I went home and had the flu for days, and basically she was like, well, I wish you had told me that. And I didn't have an answer for that. I was like, I didn't know what to do. I'm right out of high school.
Yeah.
So
I would think maybe that she would respect the effort too, but
yeah, so
but no.
It wasn't a great time.
Man,
but I'm happy I ended up at Merrimack. It was a great school for me, and honestly, now looking back, I realize getting to Merrimack also got me to Newburyport. That's why I student taught in Newburyport, because of one of my teachers at Merrimack, and
so
things happen for a reason, I think. But
I cannot imagine that though. So when I'm sure it's not, we won't spend too much time on it, because I'm sure it's not your favorite moment in the world. But you're not going in there thinking you're going to get cut after 2 days, right?
No.
Okay.
When you get recruited since 10th grade,
right?
You think you're on the team.
Usually they'll give you a little more time than that to work things out. So you walk in there and I can't, what is that news like to get you're
devastating. I was absolutely devastated for that whole first semester, and that's probably why really I didn't end up liking Northeastern at all, was the fact that I wasn't playing field hockey and doing what I loved, and it wasn't really the school I had intended to go to and all that. So there were other factors with that too, but in the long run, being at Merrimack with one of my best friends, but also playing field hockey and being around people that were like-minded with sports was a better fit for me.
Your sister came afterwards?
And so basically my saga continues, but basically my senior year at Merrimack, I ended up having a season-ending injury on the last day of preseason. Ugh. And so I tore the ligaments in my thumb, and you kind of need both hands for field hockey. So I had to sit out that season, and that was the same time when my sister was looking at colleges, and so she was vacillating between going to Merrimack and when she found out I was going to redshirt and stay for a fifth year, she decided she was going to go to Merrimack, and so that was the first time where we got to play together because
that's cool.
you know, we were 5 years apart. So
that must have been fun.
Yeah, so it ended up that's really where like people that we work with are always like, wow, you guys do a lot of stuff together. You play field hockey, you coach together, you work together. And growing up, we were 5 years apart, so that's pretty different in age when you're young. But once you're older, it feels more. You know, you have a lot more in common, and so her freshman year of college and my fifth year was really the time where we became like really, really, really close. And then after that, obviously she's come this way and worked at Newburyport and coached with me.
Is she in the middle school or the?
She's also in the middle school. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool. That's interesting. Do your players know that story?
I actually recently me being cut from Stonehill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually recently told my team this year. I guess maybe they most of them hadn't known it, and they were all
we didn't get
in
to it.
shock.
I've already had you on this show before, and we didn't get to that somehow.
Well, they were all like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Yeah." So
similar reaction to what I had.
Yeah, they were like, "What do you mean?" And so, I think that's like another reason for me being a coach. I've had a few experiences that haven't been great with coaches, but also have made me realize like how to handle some situations, I think, a little more like sensitively, or just be a little more understanding, I think, with players and stuff.
Again, Jess Delacey here, the Newburyport head field hockey coach. 2 games in, 1-1. Get a chance to go over and see them go do it.
On Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
Home game.
Who you got?
We are playing Pentucket for our first home game of the season. So.
All right. There you go. There you go. So you split the road games to start. That's good. One of them's Masco, so that's a tough one. Think you can beat them second time around?
They are a very strong team.
What is it about Masco? It's just the pure size of the school because they're good.
I think the size has something to do with it. I think the combination of having multiple towns going all to one school, and I also think that at least for field hockey, they have really excellent feeder programs at a much younger level. So it's a combination of all three. But the wild part is they play. Their practices and their home games are all on grass, and so most teams now in our league are on turf. And so for them to still be highly competitive, on turf, but not really playing on it,
is a different game. Much different game.
It's so different.
Really?
So that's one of the things yesterday that we definitely struggled with. Was playing on grass and not being used to it.
Really, that much of a difference, huh?
It's
slower.
Yeah, so much slower. A lot of the the finesse moves that you might try on turf just don't work, and just
field hockey seems like one of those sports. Like it's not like football, right? Like football, there is a little difference between turf and grass. Soccer, I guess, is a little bit of difference, but field hockey seems like that would definitely change the game. Like
it's almost two different sports. Yeah, when you watch it on turf versus
almost seems
grass.
Not right. I don't know.
Yeah. So but they're an excellent team. So and they have very talented players. A couple players that are very, very strong there. Yeah. So,
and it was 3-0.
3-0. We did have a few factors where we had a couple seniors that weren't able to play yesterday for various reasons, but for injuries and illnesses and things. So that was something we were missing. And what else? I felt like, just our one of our first games where we had to travel. It's a lot to get used to in this first part of the season. So I think moving forward this season, just being used to traveling to different fields, we'll get better at playing away games, and I think the next time we play them, we'll be at our home field. So
it does take a bit to get into a routine, doesn't it?
I think it's just a lot the first week of school in general, but adding to it being an athlete and having games like the first day you start school, it's a lot. So
do you look at any? Have you seen freshmen before? Are you starting some freshmen?
They're not starting, but they're on the team.
Playing a lot, yeah.
I kind of change. No one's really a set starter on my team, but
gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So can you see young nerves out there though? I've always thought if you're an underclassman, it would be kind of tough, playing in all right, this is varsity now with older kids. Do you have to settle kids down sometimes?
A little bit. I think just probably the first couple games of the season for most of my girls on the team, they're anxious and nervous and they want to do well and help the team. And I think there's certain games that they get nervous at. For example, the night games that we have where we do our big fundraisers, our Play for the Cure game, a senior night, things like that.
Yeah,
they
still a few more
obviously
factors
feel
to it.
nervous. Yeah, for sure.
You probably, the girls that are your captains, you probably rely on quite a bit though for that too, right?
Yeah, we do. We have some really strong captains that have been part of our program.
You can name drop them if you want. Who are they?
Yeah, so our captains are Maggie Pons.
Oh, I know her.
Yeah, you probably know her
Basketball
from
too,
basketball,
right?
lacrosse. She's
Yeah.
a very talented athlete, and also Alex Sirik.
Don't know her.
And you may have heard of her from. She's very good at track.
Track.
And so is
Okay.
Julia Tribestone, both of those.
Okay.
So yeah,
Those are your
those are our
captains, three?
captains.
All right.
So they've all played with me for field hockey since, well, Julia and Alex may have started in 6th grade, but Maggie started, I think, in 7th grade.
Yeah, so you're at the point now where you're having you kind of groomed these people from freshmen on now. This is your team officially. You're not having any carryover, so.
Yeah, so I've known them for a long time, so it's
How
been nice
many?
to see them.
What'd you have for numbers this year?
We have 18 on varsity and I think 18 on JV.
Wow, that's pretty solid, right?
So pretty good numbers in terms of those two teams, but our program was actually a lot smaller than it's been in the past. So usually we've also had a freshman team.
Okay.
So this year we didn't have the numbers to field those 3 teams. So that was kind of a bummer. We had to, at the last minute, really make that tough decision of not
Scrapping
having
freshmen.
a 3rd team, because really, if we had kept it, we almost wouldn't have been able to have the 3 teams with enough players to even have subs
Yeah.
when we have games or something.
Yeah,
So
that would have been tough. How many
Yeah.
people play in a field hockey field again?
11.
Plus a goalie or 11 with a goalie?
11 with the goalie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
That would have made it tough.
it would have been tricky. So that was a really tough thing, especially because the coach that we've had there, my sister and I just love her, and
Yeah.
so not having her as part of our program this year has been kind
Yeah, that's hard.
of sad.
Were you trying to recruit other athletes?
We were trying to, but this year, and I don't know if it was just the freshman class maybe this year, but there was a huge number. I think it was 88 or almost 90 to 100 kids went out for soccer for both girls and boys.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not sure. I don't know if it was just a huge soccer year or
Yeah.
I don't know what that's all about, but I was kind of like, wait a second, where did all these kids go? So
Soccer definitely is growing. I've noticed. I feel like it's
Yeah.
it was always big when I was in high school, and I feel like it dipped a little bit. I have nothing to back up any of these numbers, but
it seems like it's going up again.
It seems like it's going up again. I don't know. I noticed my younger cousins that are in college right now and stuff. They're all into Premier League and everything, and I don't know. It just seems like stuff that wasn't available to me at the time is there now. But
I don't know. So it was a little sad this year, but I think ultimately it's allowed us to possibly have some stronger teams on both JV and varsity, because I think it will help us in the long run, because then all the girls practice on turf and play on turf, as opposed to the freshman team in years past has played a lot more on grass and practice on grass. So I think it's a good thing, as much as I'm sad about it.
You must be able to have
Does
some
that
pretty
make
good practices with those numbers.
It's really nice because we can do full field scrimmages. We can separate teams on opposite sides of the field.
Yeah.
It's a good number to have.
So you're practicing, you said tonight it's 6. Is this the normal time? You practice 6 o'clock on weeknights, or?
We usually practice at night unless there's... So the home field, the turf field at NHS is utilized primarily for home games for all the varsity and JV teams. And then after those games finish, if teams want to use the turf, they can. And typically, Kyle Hodgson has actually been amazing with this. He really understands that field hockey, in order to be a competitive team, you have to practice on turf at this point. So he always schedules us in to have practice on the turf. But the downfall of that is that we usually have later practices.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah, I bet some people might like that. Maybe not you. It becomes a long day.
I like it. I really do. However, I'm moving pretty soon to Kittery, and so my drive is going to be longer, and it's not as convenient for me to pop home
Kittery,
right now.
Maine.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
Yeah.
What's spurring that move?
Well, so I've lived closer to Newburyport schools. I've been living in Salisbury for a while, but I'm moving in with my boyfriend. So
Oh wow,
yeah,
very nice.
Moving to Kittery.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so
beach town
pretty
there.
excited. Yeah, I know. I'm sad to leave Salisbury Beach though.
Yeah, so you're just always near a beach. That's
Yeah, I try to stay within a 3-mile radius of the beach.
How about Kittery's not bad. It's less
No, it's about 20 minutes. It's just
traffic.
right now it's easy for me to pop home if I get out of school at 2 and take a few hours off and come back, but I probably won't do that.
Yeah. We've actually talked a lot about your family here today, and Lee Biddle, who we had on the show here. A lot of you might remember him. Did a nice little acoustic set for us on the show one day. You got to see that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he's very talented.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Your relationship again?
He is my brother-in-law. So my sister and Lee, my sister, the field hockey coach, and Lee. Actually, his name is actually Lee Delacey Biddle, I think now, technically.
Okay.
He just changed his name officially. So, yeah, he's my brother-in-law. They got married this summer.
Oh, wow.
In July.
Okay. No wonder why he couldn't come on the show this summer. He was busy.
He's a busy guy.
I think we had him on. I think we had him on during the winter, if I remember correctly. But yeah, he was good. I randomly just caught him one night there at the Port Brewery. And,
I think I was actually there.
You were there, yeah. I remember. I was like, hey, I know you.
Yeah, I was like, wait, I think he interviewed me once.
It was like a week after, I think.
Yeah,
it was very soon after. It was a small world. That's a cool place too. I like going over there.
Yeah,
I haven't been
fun.
in a little while, but I like the live music scene. But he's doing well. You said he's touring a lot.
Yeah, he's been pretty busy. He's been kind of all over the place. I think the other day, I think it was this past Friday, he was at the Goat in Portsmouth. So,
okay.
Which is a pretty cool place to play.
I
And I think he's playing at the
there.
Goat this week in Hampton.
Why don't I know the Goat?
Oh, the Goat's really awesome if you haven't been. Yeah,
I haven't been.
They have really good burgers, really good. I think they have really good breakfast, but they're kind of known for they have like really fun adult drinks, Bloody Marys and stuff.
There you go.
It's a good place.
I go to the Sea Catch place I've been to up there.
Oh yeah, that's fun too.
Yeah, and one of my other buddies plays like piano up there, but I've never been to the Goat. I'll have to look that up.
You should go to the Goat.
Good to know.
It's good.
Live music and stuff. Consistently?
Yeah, sometimes live music, or they have karaoke, and depends on the Portsmouth one. I think may have more live music than the Hampton one.
Karaoke and Portsmouth is cool. I was at Portsmouth for what's that place? Do you know Portsmouth at all?
Yeah.
The outdoor venue. Right in the water.
Like not Strawberry Bank, but
no. I'll know it if you say it.
I know where you're talking about, but I'm not gonna be able to think of it right now.
Mid-show. This usually never goes well when I try to look things up mid-show. Should play.
Yeah, Portsmouth is fun.
It is. I have never really hung out there, but I was walking to this outdoor concert venue and see the Wood Brothers, who were great. And I was like, wow, this is a really cool downtown, and I've been wanting to go back. It seemed dog friendly too, which I really appreciated.
Yeah, Portsmouth is pretty dog
Newburyport
friendly.
is
Newburyport is.
Do you guys have dogs yet?
I have a dog. Yeah.
There you go.
Chewy.
Newburyport's good. Chewy?
Yeah, my dog's name is Chewy. He's a good little dog.
Did you bring him to practice?
I don't. He's not really. He's a special dog. He
special.
No,
dog.
literally, he's a hairless dog. I don't know if you ever heard of.
Yes.
Or heard of the breed Chinese Crested. That's what he is. So
no,
he's a hairless
I haven't heard
dog.
of that.
So he's a little bit, he doesn't love the outdoors so much. But he's a really good dog. But I just leave him at home usually for practice.
We got the two now. We made the jump to. We had the old dog for a while. Now we have a puppy. So we don't do anything without dogs. Our social life is completely controlled. Prescott Park, by the way.
Oh, that is. Yep.
Yeah. Is that what you were thinking?
Yep.
It's a great spot.
Yeah, that was a
good
good
beautiful.
spot.
So that was Portsmouth. But anyways, glad we settled that one. All right. So final couple minutes. What's the outlook for the rest of you play Wednesday? You said.
Wednesday we play. What did I say? Pentucket.
Pentucket. Yep.
And then that's
most of these games
for
are
this week.
early
Most of the
afternoon?
games are for varsity. They usually start at 3:45.
Okay.
Unless it's like a night game or something.
3:45. All right. And
then that's it. I think that's our only game this week. And then we have a couple games next week.
And you can still only use the one side of the stick, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be a rule forever, I think, in field hockey.
It's
like the main rule.
You explained it to me last time. It's very, very interesting, that rule. It's actually kind of, I don't know. I'm always tempted because I played hockey, so it's always like weird to get your head out of that. But it's and the people that are really fast with it always really impress me.
Yeah, good stick skills.
Who's the best stick handler on your team?
The best stick handler.
Is it you? Is it still you?
It could still be me. No. The best stick handler, I would say, is probably Callie Beauplant.
Yeah. I take it related to all of the Beauplants.
Yeah, related to all of the Beauplants.
How many? There's like a million of them around.
There's a lot of Beauplants.
Do you know Jed?
Jed Beauplant.
Yeah, is he teaching in Newburyport? He's the assistant hockey coach there.
I
know he was teaching.
I know Jason Beauplant. He teaches at my school.
Right, so Jason's his. I don't think they're brothers. I think they're
brother-in-law or something. Cousin.
I think they're cousins. I think. I'm not sure. They're close. I know that. And then they had who's there for the hockey team now? One of the Beauplants. Is it Cade?
Cade graduated. He's in college.
Oh,
but yeah,
Cade graduated?
He formerly played
wow.
hockey. Yeah.
Time flies.
Yeah. Well, Callie's a junior, so people are getting older.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Callie's a very good dribbler.
Okay. Dribbler. That's what they call it in field hockey.
Yeah.
You got to learn the terminology.
I actually told her the other day at our Triton game, I said, "You are the best dribbler," and we had her do a play at the end of the game to make sure that we won. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah.
And it worked?
It worked.
You were like drawn up perfectly?
Yeah, I was like, because you are the best dribbler.
Are you a player's coach, by the way? Let's end with that because I think you seem like you talked about earlier about being kind of like not laid back, but like you can kind of understand the hecticness of the first week, and that made me think I wish I had more coaches that realized that back in the day.
I think I try to be. I hope that my players would think that. But yeah, I think my sister and I try to make our program as fun as possible, but also serious.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say strict. Like, we hold them to high expectations, and they know that. But I think they appreciate that we can still be like silly and fun and do, just. I want them to come to field hockey on a daily basis and have it be like the best part of their day.
Yeah,
so
that's the worst. I'm sure you've been on teams before when you really kind of dreaded going to practice. I know I have.
Yeah, I think sadly, like some of your best lessons, like whether it's like me as a teacher or me as a coach, like I kind of learned what not to do from the bad ones.
Yes.
And that's like probably turned me into being able to do like good things. So I don't know if that makes sense.
That makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
I think I know who you're talking about too, judging by our earlier story.
Oh, that one.
Yes.
Yeah, and others, but Yeah,
there you go. No need to single out, right?
Yeah. So
That's cool. Best of luck, Jess, the rest of the season. Thanks for joining us. This was fun again. We'll have you on again towards the end of the year.
Oh, all right.
Update you when
You'll
you punch
let me back.
Yeah, we'll let you back. Punch your ticket to the state tournament. We'll have you on here.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get the captains in too.
Oh yeah, that'll be great.
I'll round them up.
We should definitely do that. We should have you all.
They'll be better than I am.
Then we can hear while you're here if you're actually like a player's coach.
Yeah, God.
They tend not to say
They'd
bad
probably
things.
lie.
Yeah.
No, I think they would say it.
No, that's cool. Well, I've actually heard that through the grapevine, so that's good for you. Good luck Wednesday, and good luck for the rest of the season. Thanks. And try to recruit Lee for us. We need to get more music on.
I'll touch base with Lee. We'll get him on here. But he should. Did he sing when he was on here last time?
Oh yeah.
Oh good. Okay. Yeah.
He did
get him on here and sing.
I forget. I don't think Lily was here for that, but other producers who are not here were here for that. But I remember even they were impressed. They're like, yeah, he was very good.
Yeah, he's great. He's got a great voice.
I've often wanted
Makes
to
me
bring.
Jealous.
I've often wanted to bring like the crowd in. Have like a little concerty atmosphere.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Even I remember he was like the first one to say to me, like most like we'll have bands in here and they just kind of like jam out together. We've had like 5-piece bands in here, but Lee's by himself. So at one point, Lee's like, it is funny how nerve-wracking it is looking across, just seeing you and a producer, and you still get nervous. It's very odd. I go, I know we should bring like more people in. He goes, more would probably be less nerve-wracking. He
always impresses me that he never looks nervous ever when I see him perform.
I said that to him. I was like, well, you don't seem nervous at all. You sound great.
He's like so cool, calm, and collect, and I get more nervous like watching him for him.
Yeah.
So, but
you can tell
he's talented.
He's got complete control over his craft. So
yeah.
I don't think you need to worry about him too much. Put the word in for me. We'll get Lee on too. Have a great rest of the year.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
This
was fun. And have fun at practice tonight.
Oh, thanks.
Much more Afternoon Drive in just a moment. My name is Drew Moholland. Keep it right here. All right, welcome back to Afternoon Drive on Chopper Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. Big thanks to Jess Delacey there. Always a pleasure to have her on. We'll get some of the field hockey kids on as well. She was actually having some injury and sickness problems today. She actually was going to bring some kids over, but she was like, one of my captains is really sick. So feel better, field hockey team, for those of you who are under the weather.
Just at the start of the year.
I know. Sarah Hayden joining us.
Butting in.
Along with Caleb Noble. Hey, you two. How are you?
Good.
She was very nice. I know you were listening on the road there, Sarah. She was fun, right?
It was a good interview, yes.
You thought I drilled her a little hard on the college thing?
Yes, and you know what else? I think that what's good is I know I don't have my earphones on.
It's okay. You sound fine.
Is that you mentioned that there were more soccer?
Yeah.
And I don't know. She has more players too.
No, she's down.
She's down.
Yeah. And she thinks she's seeing a lot more going to soccer.
Interesting.
Because their numbers are way up.
I don't think field hockey gets as much coverage. It's not that we're
trying.
Yes, and we don't cover soccer or field hockey.
Yeah.
It's possible we could do a game if it's at the field.
Yeah.
On the turf and at 6, but it is tough.
You didn't even tell me we were going in that direction. That's an interesting idea for later in the year. Covering games.
Whoa, yeah. Stop. You've already covering the games.
If you want to become a member, you can come and get a camera and record the games.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be nice. But it would be good to try to do field hockey.
Yeah.
I mean, Richie has talked about it before. We are a little bit waiting to see how the FCC rule change is going to impact us, which goes into effect September 26th, and then we can see.
Yeah, reorganize. Well, that's interesting. It's an entertaining game. She's got some skillful players over there. I know that they're usually good for teams. So, you never played field hockey, Caleb?
No, there's a lot of whistles involved.
You don't like the whistling? The whistles. Did you hear us talking? The thing with the sticks in field hockey? You can only use the one side.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. I learned that in gym class back in the day, and I was shocked. So you can only, like in hockey, you can go forehand, backhand.
Right, I didn't know that.
Yeah, in field hockey, you have to keep turning the stick over. So when the girls are flying down the field,
I've wondered. Sometimes I watch and I think, God, it's a lot of action going on there.
Yeah, you have to keep using just the front of the stick. You can't use the backhand, essentially. It's always fascinated me how fast some of the girls are with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Learn something new every day.
Yes, you do.
She was telling me about that last time she was on, and I remembered that conversation. So I asked her, I said, is that, Jess, do you still only get to use the one side? She goes, I don't think that's ever changing there, Drew. But, yeah, there you go. Anyways, good luck to Jess and the team. That's fun. And we have a new place to go out to dinner. So when you and your son go out, Sarah, you can.
Yes.
Son's back in town now?
Yes, he's back right now until the 18th, I think. Then he'll go back down to the Gulf of Mexico.
Whoa. So world traveler.
Yeah, you heard about that ship off the coast of Georgia.
Yes, that was crazy, wasn't it? All
yes.
The rescues. I know, I guess.
And that's where they hang out, the engineers and oilers.
Well, I guess they're getting a lot of credit because, you heard a lot of people saying, a miracle at sea. And, I was actually hearing it kind of the other way. Those guys that were trapped did everything by the book. They knew the part of the boat to go to. They knew how they wouldn't get, they wouldn't drown. And they knew how to contact with the tapping. And that's how they got out.
Oh, that's interesting.
Wow.
I should talk to Matthew about that.
Yeah,
but he did. I mean, he has mentioned how hot it is now. I never realized it. Of course, it's hot. So it was in excess of 120 degrees where they were. That's why one guy I think he just came out in his shorts.
Yikes.
It was really, really hot. Yeah. Caleb's going to say something because I'm not talking the whole time.
The Goat is a good place.
You've been to the Goat?
Yes.
Sarah's son is going to take her out there. I don't know if
there's a bunch of dollar bills on the walls. It's kind of cool.
Oh, that's good. Well,
dollar bills?
Dollar bills, yeah.
For why?
Yeah, first...
For famous people?
No, the people just, I think, I don't think it's legal to write stuff on dollar bills, but they do anyways and post them on the...
You do see
looks
that at
cool.
Places, yeah. First one for this.
Everywhere. Everywhere.
The whole,
I heard it's country music.
That would make sense. You remember Lee Biddle? Did you catch that part?
Yes, I did.
So that's his, yeah.
What was Lucy or name change or something? Or was his sister or what? Or him?
I don't know. It's her... Lee is Jess's brother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
So Lee married a Delacey. So I guess he's Lee Delacey Biddle, I think. I'm not sure.
So he took her name?
I think so.
Oh, Lee. He's very cool, isn't he?
You're well played. I think that's it. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's how I took it anyway.
But he's such a good...
Wasn't he good? Man,
he's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be fun to have him back on. But it would be really fun to have him on with his mom sometime because they do play together.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to ask him about that.
Laura Biddle.
I remember you telling me that.
She's a very cool person.
Oh, okay. So
Yep.
you know you know everybody. It's tough to get anybody
really,
by you.
but
yeah, kid,
She's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Let me think about that.
If you're ever really stuck trying to get in touch with somebody, it's you're like, Sarah, do you know? Yeah, I got you. Talk to you in a half hour.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
You come through quite a bit.
I heard you have a cool guest on Thursday.
Yes, nice plug. The one and only William Shuttleworth will be joining us after his walk across the country.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Unbelievable. How was the party last week? Were you guys both there?
Yeah, it was good.
I was not there.
I saw the A team.
The A team?
No, it wasn't.
I see all the reporters.
I saw Channel 5 and I saw the gal from WBZ. She slid up very slick and stuck her iPhone.
Kevin Regal, I believe it was.
There.
Yes.
It was good. What he said was really great.
Yeah.
And it is on our YouTube.
He's a great speaker.
It is on our YouTube. PortMedia YouTube, if someone wants to watch it, it really, he is a good speaker.
Yeah, I know a lot of you have heard a lot of William. He's been on here before, but I'm very curious about some of the. I'll try to open him up a little bit on Thursday and get some of the stories because he must have stories for days.
I can imagine.
from walking the country. You haven't walked the country lately, have you?
No,
Caleb?
I've driven the country though lately.
You did? You went cross country?
Yeah.
That's right. I think we talked about that. You and the Tulin brothers did it that we had on here. The high school kids.
did?
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah, they drove the country. They just I think if I remember correctly, the story was they got hurt going into college for football, or one of them got really hurt, and I was really kind of down about it. And the other brother said, "You know what? Let's do something together here and take a year off." And we should have those guys on again. Too.
That's
they were
dope.
good.
They have a cool family too.
So you know the
Yeah.
Tulins, of course.
But
you do.
I don't. I don't know them personally. I just know
Yeah.
them indirectly. When the boys were young, I taught the music because I taught at the Montessori school. So it was cute music, but they
Yeah.
were so adorable.
Yeah, good-looking, long-haired guys
The Tulin boys.
driving across the country.
Tooling across the country.
Tooling across the country.
Oh.
Ooh, how did they not come up with that? That had to be the slogan, right?
Yeah, we
right.
toolin'.
All right, so Thursday we got Shuttleworth. Anything else going on in between that we should know about? Final minute?
No, well, we're going tonight to the library to film the Ask a Muslim Anything.
Okay.
I think it's Dr. Aziz.
I actually am not
Professor
familiar with that,
Aziz.
but I kind of get the
It's
impression
very
of what
cool.
it is.
He has
Okay.
spoken all over, and he answers any questions that people have, and it's very interesting. Again, we'll have that filmed so people can.
Okay. That'll
they
be
miss
interesting
it.
to watch.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a good night for it, too. Rain's holding off, I think. Good. You? Anything good? Caleb?
No, just living the dream, man.
Just living the dream.
Yep.
Of course you are.
No.
Or the nightmare.
Or the nightmare. How's Tyler
Here
doing?
it's only the dream. Tyler's
dream.
good,
I haven't
but
even talked to him
he
today.
is
He seems all
applying
over the
4
place.
jobs a day.
Oh, no
He wants to live in New York City.
Yeah, the
And
big
so if you
apple.
have a job in New York, don't let him know, because
Yeah.
that means he'll be leaving us.
Yeah, I was under the impression he can't leave.
Oh yeah, he can
Yeah, I
leave.
know.
He can leave if he wants to.
He doesn't really want to, though. He loves us.
No,
He does.
he wants to live in New York City. That's
I
the
know.
thing.
He wants to pay like 10 grand a month for
It's too
rent.
expensive. We'll pick this back up Thursday. Thanks, guys.
See
Caleb
ya.
Noble, Sarah Hayden, Lily Doucette, thank you very much. Back. Good to have you back. My name is Drew Moholland. Big thanks, Jess Delacey, as well. We'll see you on Thursday. Afternoon Drive.